Welcome to Octane Mobile Gaming. Welcome once again to the channel. Today we take a look at a new game which is called MU Origin. It's a game that I featured on my channel some time ago. It's an MMORPG game, and I did give you a few hints as to what the game is about, but I'm making a few how to play videos on this game because I've learned quite a lot since I've been playing it for the last 10 months, and I think I should just share the knowledge with you guys out there. If you're playing the game, if you're not playing the game, you could try the game out because it's a really enjoyable game. And you never know, probably we could form a guild and we could call it legendary. Well, the legends we could call it. But let's get straight into the video and have a look at the characters within this game and all the stuff that I'm going to be teaching you guys. So first up, we are going to look at the 5 characters within the game. Originally the game only had 3 characters, which was the Dark Knight, the Dark Wizard, and the Elf. But since then, two new characters were introduced, the Holy Mage and the Magic Gladiator. Now the Dark Knight, which is a really tanky character, he is strength focused. So most of the strength characters are actually quite tanky characters. They don't deal a lot of damage apart from the Elf. Now if you're looking for a character that can soak up a lot of damage, well, this one is the one for you. It has a lot of crowd control as well, so when you're in a team and it's a team battle, it's a really nice character to actually have to hand. The next one up is the Dark Wizard. Now the Dark Wizard is a nice character as well. He's got range, he deals a lot of range damage. His fighting skill is quite nice. He has got a shield that absorbs a certain percentage of the damage. He's not as tanky as, say, the Dark Knight or the Magic Gladiator. I'll explain that a bit later. But he does take a lot of beating, and he does dish out a lot of damage as well. The next one up is the Elf, which is the Archer, which is the one that I have got. She is quite unique in a certain sense where she doesn't absorb or take a lot of damage. She's not very tanky, but she does deal a lot of damage. Her damage output is quite high. She's got a high level of evade as well, so that's something you will want to work on, so she can evade a lot of the damage that is being dealt by the other characters. She's quite a nice troop to use, but I do find that if you haven't built your character quite well, then you will have problems going quite high up in the game, because the higher level you get to, you start to realize the weakness in your build. So build is quite important. And the Elf, I think when you're building the Elf, you should focus a lot on your defense and evade, because she hasn't got a shield like, say, the Dark Wizard to absorb a certain amount of the damage being dealt. The next one up is the Holy Mage. Now the Holy Mage has got a shield that absorbs a certain amount of damage. She has got heal as well. I should have mentioned that the Elf is able to heal herself, and if you switch her skill, you are able to heal a party if you're in a party, and you can pass your skill to evade onto other members of the party, which makes her quite unique. The Holy Mage can pass some of her skill to members of the party as well. However, the shield I think the shield is specifically for the Holy Mage, but she's quite a nice character. She's a melee just like the Dark Knight and the Magic Gladiator, but she's a quite nice character to actually use. Her combat styles are quite nice as well. There's a lot of visual there with that character as well. Last but not least, certainly not the least, is the Magic Gladiator. Now the Magic Gladiator is the most unique of all the troops, simply because he can take on different characteristic depending on which type you choose. Now if you look at the graph on the right hand side of the screen, you will see at the bottom it's got STR, which is strength, and it's got ENG, which is energy. I did mention earlier about strength characters and energy characters. Now the elf is a strength character, the dark knight is a strength character, the magic gladiator can be either a strength character or energy character. Now the energy character are the dark wizard and the holy mage. They deal a lot of damage as well, but the elf is the exception to the rule. She's a strength character, but she does deal a lot of damage. Now the magic gladiator, if you choose a strength character, he's quite tanky, but he doesn't have a high damage output. If you choose the energy type, he will have high damage output, but you need to work on his defensive capability because his defense will be a bit low. Now if he's an energy character, you can actually equip him later on in the game with equipment that comes from the dark wizard as well, which is the staff. You can also equip him with the shield that comes from the dark knight. If he's a strength character, you can equip him with the sword from the dark knight, and from time to time you could put a shield on him as well, but the sword looks more cooler, I think. So you can choose which one of the characters you want, or if it's a dark knight, if the magic gladiator, you can choose whether it's strength or it's energy, depending on the fighting style that you want, because he does change his fighting style depending on which type you actually choose. I had a strength character, which is quite nice. The fighting style of the energy character is a bit better, but the equipment, like the weapons, are not as cool as the strength character. There's one criteria for creating the magic gladiator. However, you need to have a previous character on that account which is above level 120. So you might want to just create a character, take it up to level 120, then you create your magic gladiator. Some people starts out that way and then they decide not to create the magic gladiator. They'll just continue with the character that they'll actually have they actually created first. So we're going to create a character. Today I'm going to choose the Dark Knight simply because I like his ability to actually crowd control and take a lot of battering. So what we're going to call him, we're going to call him Powerhouse. So we're going to call him Powerhouse simply because he takes a lot of damage. Let's see if that name is actually available. It's not available. So let's call him something else. Let's call him, let's see if power is available. It's not available. Okay, let's call him a different name. Okay, let's see if this one is actually available. That one is available.
Warrior, touch the virtual pad to move around. Tap the quest list on the left to start your adventure.
Now that we've taken care of the sound effects and music, we can continue. So the first thing you'll see when you actually create your character and go into the game is your quest, your main quest or new journey. Once you start your new journey, you will start to collect your stuff. You will unlock maps as well. So the map is at the top right hand side of the screen. You can just touch the map and you can see where you are by the little arrow, and you can tell where the bosses are. You can read through the storyline, or like me, you can just basically fast forward through the story. Story is not really important. Just got my first bit of kit. It's actually a boot, and as you can see, I've just got plus 48. Now plus 48 is actually added to my CP. Now CP is at the top left hand side of the screen where your character avatar is. At the moment my CP is 171. If I unequip the boot, so to unequip the boot, let me show you that again. You go to the inventory, which is at the bottom of the screen. It looks like a bag. You just click on it, it comes up, and you can see all the stuff that you've collected in your storage. Or you can go to your secondary storage. So when you put stuff in, basically I call one part inventory and the next part the storage. So if I click my storage, you can put stuff in your storage. You won't lose things from your storage. But however, if you've got things in your inventory, if you end up in chaos mode, then you can lose it. I'll explain chaos mode just a bit later. Let's unequip the boot. So you touch on the boot and then you click unequip and it goes into your inventory. So you can see I actually start with 123 CP. CP still simple stands for combat points. Now you accumulate combat points by equipping equipments, equipping wings, artifacts. There's a whole range of stuff that actually adds to your CP and actually adds to your character stats. So we're going to look at the character stats first and foremost. Now this is where you see the character stats. Now how do you get to your character stats? You can get there two ways. You can actually click on the picture of the avatar, or you can click on your inventory. We can go through inventory, click on property, and then you can see your stats that way. Or you can click on the avatar, click character, and it takes you to property where you can see your stats. Now these are the stats of the character. Now all the stats are the basic stats. We haven't got anything equipped, anything added, nothing. So you can see the basic stats from the top to the bottom. First you see 123, which I just explained is your combat points. Next down you see your level. The character level is level 4. You do accumulate experience, which takes up your level quite rapidly in the first part of your adventure. So between level 1 and say level 350, you accumulate your experience points quite rapidly because you get an experience bonus from global. Now in each server you might have, if it's an older server, somebody who is quite a high level, so the experience bonus that you get is the difference between your level and the level of the highest character within that server. So you might want to start out in a newer server where everybody is starting at the same level. So as long as you put in more or the same amount of effort into your character will be on relatively the same par as other players within that server. Unless they spend a lot more cash than you do, then they will basically be much stronger than you are. Let's move on. The next thing is the blue bar just below your level. You'll see numbers there. It's 1480, which is 1480 experience points, and you've got 2800, which is what you need to accumulate to get to level 5. You got PK below that. PK basically is like AFK. You can make your character AFK in the maps where you can kill other players, but you will accumulate PK points. Now PK points, when you accumulate a certain amount of PK points, you go into something that is called chaos mode. Chaos mode is simply your wings become red, so everybody know that you're in chaos mode, and a lot of people try to kill you when you're in chaos mode, simply because you lose things from your inventory which is not bonded to your character. So I would say stay in peace mode unless you're in, for example, guild siege or a PvP or whatever it is. Then you don't have to switch it to AFK. It will automatically switch to AFK, but a lot of people do switch their character AFK, which is quite annoying for players on a lower level. Next we get to strength, which is STR, and that is the primary it's like the center of the character. The character draws everything from his strength. To equip equipment, a lot of the equipment will have a strength requirement or a agility requirement or a stamina requirement. This one will never have a energy requirement for any equipment because none of his equipment will be energy. It all be strength. Next down you got energy. Energy is actually 0 because we won't be building our energy. We don't rely on energy, we primarily rely on strength. You've got agility and then you've got stamina. every single character within the game needs stamina and they need agility. You've got the HP level, you've got your physical attack, you've got your physical defense, you've got your magic defense. Now the reason why you've got physical defense and magic defense on this character is because you've got characters in the game that doesn't deal physical attack, they deal magic attack, like your magic gladiator, and you've got your dark wizard that deals magic attack. Physical defense is for all the other characters that deals physical damage, but you primarily deal physical attack because you're a strength character. Any character that deals magic attack is always an energy character. So the magic gladiator can deal either strength attack, which is physical, or magic attack, which is energy, depending on which one you choose. View properties, there are other properties that we won't be able to view at the moment because they haven't got anything equipped. Stats, you can see the stats. So you got your physical attack again, your physical defense, your HP, and your accuracy. These ones are like hidden stats. Your accuracy is quite important. All these stats are quite important, but accuracy when it comes to attack is quite important. Basically, accuracy is the ability to land more damage per minute. So the higher level of your accuracy, the more damage you will actually get in, because every single character within the game has got defense. They've got something called evade, which some of the time it's called dodge, so they can dodge your attack. They defend against your attack, so your accuracy makes certain that a higher number of attack goes straight through the shield, their defenses, and you land as much attack within a minute. So it's quite important as well. Your HP is important. Your HP is always going to have the highest stats, because the more HP you have, the harder you will be to actually kill. Then you got your defenses. Always try to keep everything balanced. At the moment, you can see that my attack is far greater than my defense. He's a tanky character, especially when you start equipping the equipment. So we will focus a lot on his attack and his defense. I'll relatively try to keep them within, say, 100 or 1,000 difference. So no massive variation where I've got like 10,000 attack and my defense is like 2,000. That's too much of a great difference between them. All right, so let's go to fruit. So fruits are what you collect to actually increase your stamina, your energy, your agility, and your strength. Strength, energy, agility, and stamina. Now, when you start gathering fruits, you will mainly get the red fruit for this character, not the blue ones, because he's a strength character, so you will get more of the red ones. You will get greens and you will get yellows, but you will probably get like 10 reds and 2 greens and 1 yellow. You'll get more reds as you go along, but eventually you get to a point where you accumulate up the amount of fruits that you require for that level, and then you get to the next level and you start gathering more fruits until you get to a very high level where you got more fruits than they actually need. So you got your elemental fruits. They are almost the same thing, but they are for elemental damage. At the moment, we won't be getting elemental fruits because we are quite low, but as you get higher to a higher level within the game, you will start gathering elemental fruits, which is quite important because you do deal elemental damage. You've got elemental enemies within the game as well that you need to kill. So if you've got high level of elemental fruits, you deal good amount of elemental damage. So you got fire, you've got your light, you've got your earth, you've got your water, and you've got your wind. So fire, lightning, earth, water, and wind. Those are just below the character. You can see those ones. They're all at 0 at the moment. All right. So later on in another video, we'll talk a bit about advancement. We'll talk a bit about titles, and we'll talk some more about other aspects of the game. Let's just do a little bit more of our quest and see how we get on for probably the next 10 to 15 minutes. I don't want to make this video like an hour because I can go on for quite a long time about this game, because as I said, it's quite in depth and it's got so much layers to it. Now I'm not doing a lot of damage. As you can see, my damage output is just like 32, so my character is pretty weak, but we're gonna remedy that as we go through the game and we start to build the character. So now I'm gonna collect one more piece of armor, which is, I think it's a pant. So now we've got the pant and we've got the boots, which are both equipped, and as you can see, my CP is actually gone up to 334. So my CP will increase depending on what I've equipped. So that is my first skill. So you've got 8 skill within the game. So let's take a look at our skill. And that's my first skill that I've actually acquired. So to get to skill, you just click on the avatar at the top left hand side of the screen, and then you can look at skill, and then you can see all the skills that you will acquire through the course of the game. Now the skill that we just acquire will fiercely attack a target in front twice and inflict medium damage on enemy in an horizontal range. And it's got two sub skills as well, which are quite important. I think they're a bit more powerful than the main skill, and it depends what you want to actually do with your character. You select one of those skills. You can obtain those skills from the battle shop, and you can obtain those skills from guild auction or auction. I'll talk about those in a future video. So let's continue with our quest and see if we can actually get all our armor before we actually end the video. We should be able to get all our armor before we actually end the video. To build your character to level 400, you would think that it's quite difficult to achieve this. We just obtain our axe, and we're gonna equip that as well. But it's not very difficult to actually get to level 350. You can actually get to level 350 in around about 3 to 4 hours of just going through the quest. We just got our armor, and you can see our character is changing. So let's go back to the, so you can see he's now clothed in his boot, pants, his boot, his pants, his armor, and he's got an axe. And in the next video I'm gonna explain a bit more about equipment, armor, weapons, so on and so forth. But for now, we just want to see if we can actually get his helmet before I actually end the video. So that is his glove, which is quite nice, and we're gonna keep going until we actually obtain his helmet. So I should actually obtain his helmet within the next minute or so, and then we shall see so we just obtain our second skill. Okay, so let's look at our second skill and see what it is. So our second skill, so it enables you to spin with your weapon, attacking enemies around you, inflicting average damage with a slight slow effect. Slow is quite important, especially in a PvP fight. When you slow your opponent, his character moves slower than normal, so he won't do as much damage, and he can't really perform a lot of the his skill as quick as possible as he would normally perform it when he is not hit with slow. So slow is really good. Slow and stun is really good. So you can see the effect of the slow. You can see that that like a what we call it, snowflakes just below each of the character when they're actually hit with slow. It shows you the snowflake to indicate that they're under that effect. So we just got our helmet, and now let's take a look at our character once again. So we just unlock first charge. What is first charge? Now everybody that starts out the game actually gets it's not really a bonus, but it's like a bonus charge. So now if I click on that, it will take me to the shops where I can actually purchase diamonds. Diamonds is one of the currency in the game. You've got blue diamonds, you've got like pink diamonds. The blue diamonds are ordinary diamonds that you purchase with odd cash, and the pink diamonds are the ones that you obtain within the game. Now if you purchase say the $2.99 pack, you will get all of that armor, which is a higher level of armor. I'll explain it a bit later. And you do get VIP experience. And with VIP experience, you do get different benefits. I would recommend getting up to VIP level 3. VIP level 3 is really good. It's quite reasonable, it's quite cheap to get up to the VIP level 3, and VIP level 3 does give you additional benefits to the game. Now what benefits does it give you within the game? It gives you the benefit of actually teleporting from where you are to somewhere else on another map by just clicking on the quest. If you don't have that, you will have to go through the portals, and you will have to basically navigate your way through the maps, each map that you actually go through the portal to, which takes quite a long time. So teleporting from where you are to where you want to be is really important. The next benefit it gives you as well is auto purchase within the settings. So if you go to settings and you go to combat settings, you've got auto purchase portion VIP privilege. That one is quite important as well, because you can auto purchase portion as and when you need it. So you mainly use two types of portion. So if you look at the top part where it says auto use portion, you've got a blue portion, you've got a red portion. The red portion is actually for your HP, it replenishes your HP, and the blue portion actually replenish your moral points. Now the moral points, you actually need that portion to give you more moral points to actually deal damage using your skills. So that one is quite important. So if we take a look again at the top part of the screen where the avatar is, you've got a red line and you've got a blue line. The blue line indicates your moral portion, and the red line indicates your HP. Those two are quite important. Your moral portion will go up, and then it goes down, and then it replenishes because of auto replenish portion. But to actually purchase those portion automatically, you need to have at least VIP level 1 to actually access it, and it's quite good, or else you'll have to physically go into the shops. There's the shops, and go to the Zen shop and actually purchase your moral portion or your HP portion. So we're going to talk about the shops in the next video as well. So let's continue with our quests. We should obtain one more skill quite soon, but as I said, it's a really good game. It's really nice. The graphics are really good. The skills are fighting skills are quite nice. The animation is quite good as well. It's a really nice game, especially when you have got the knowledge and you're equipped with the right know-how to actually create your character, because I struggle quite a lot when I first started playing this game, because I didn't know anything and I didn't know where to go to obtain a lot of the information. So I read a lot of stuff on the internet. Some of it worked, some of it didn't work. So a lot of it is not on the internet, but I learned from error and trial, from failing, from just basically doing stuff and finding out, oh, that's what that is, that's what it does. So we got our third skill. Our third skill is here. We're going to take a look at our third skill, and then we're going to end the video. And the next video I'll talk a bit more about your equipment, stats, and all of that. So our third skill enable you to quickly ambush enemies, inflicting substantial damage and temporarily stunning them. So we've got slow on our second skill that we obtained, that will slow the enemy, and the third skill will actually stun them, so it basically knock them out so you can basically finish them off. So those are really two good skills to have in PvP battles. So that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. For the next video, we'll look at my armor, and we'll just take a look at the stats of the armor, and I'll explain the armor, the levels, the stats, and all of that on armor, and then we'll probably go through a bit more of the quests and we go from there. So hopefully the information is helpful for those of you who are interested to play the game, and for those of you who probably have been playing the game, hopefully you now know a bit more about the game, and if you're going to start the game, you can actually start the game knowing what to expect and what to do. So like, subscribe, and this is Octane saying peace and enjoy your day. See you in the next video. Bye for now.